right, continuing. Some of the favorite nuts you can get in South Carolina is pecans. Pecans also grow really well in Texas. Pecan is the state nut of Texas. I don't know what the state nut of South Carolina is, but it might be the pecan. Let's ask Google. Hey Google, what's the state nut of South Carolina?
Peanuts.
Okay, that's enough. So it's peanuts. Hey Google. That's enough. Okay, continuing on. So pecans, very popular in South Carolina. Something else popular in South Carolina, grits. Everybody loves grits. You can get those, and they're very common in South Carolina. Now, in Hawaii, we have the plate lunch, but in South Carolina, they have meat in 3. A few other states we went over also have meat in 3. I think that was Kentucky or Tennessee. And Tennessee actually used to be part of South Carolina, so it's understandable that they have meat in 3. That means you can choose 1 meat and then 3 side dishes. And I do understand that sometimes the side dishes can include pie or cottage cheese or fruit or many different other things. Alright, some more popular southern food and South Carolina food is collards. I have some collards growing in my backyard. They don't look like this though, and also they're served well with oysters. Oysters are also very common, very popular in South Carolina. Something else popular in South Carolina? Okra. I have some okra growing in my garden as well. Now, normally I thought you would take it out of the pods, but apparently they just leave it in the pods here, and that's what it looks like when it's growing too. So okra, very common in South Carolina. Now, something that I don't know if I've had for a long time that's really popular in South Carolina, and that's pimento cheese. So they're known as the palmetto state, which is a type of tree that protects you against cannonballs. But they also surprisingly have pimento cheese, and pimento cheese is a mix of different cheeses into a paste type with peppers. I've had it a long time ago and I didn't like it, but I'm a totally new person than I am now, and so I would definitely like to try that again.
Stream elements.
It looks really good.
Said. MRG_live is now live.
Something more else popular in South Carolina?
Live classroom.
Cornbread.
Today's state. #South Carolina.
Cornbread is another very popular dish in South Carolina. Do you know of any foods in South Carolina that I'm not talking about here? Go ahead and mention them in the chat there. Or in the, if you're watching this on YouTube, is what I mean, mention it in the comment section. So, popular in South Carolina is Blenheim Ginger Ale. This was on like every list. I don't know much about it. I like ginger ale, but that's very popular. Also, the Charleston Bloody Mary mix is very popular, not only in South Carolina, but across the world. Apparently, they make really good Bloody Marys, and the Charleston Bloody Mary mix you can get maybe at your local grocery. You can check it out. Something else that's really common in the state of South Carolina is shrimp and grits. This is one of their most common things. If you look up South Carolina foods, every list, they will have shrimp and grits. So I've had shrimp and I've had grits. I've never mixed the two. Something else you'll find in Carolina is Carolina Gold Rice. Apparently, I'm not really sure what this is, so let's go and ask Google. Hey Google, what is Carolina Gold Rice?
On the website ansonmills.com, they say, the grandfather of long grain rice in the Americas, Carolina Gold is a delicate non-aromatic rice with chameleon starch properties that allow it to produce fluffy, individual grains, creamy risotto, or sticky Asian-style rice, depending on how it is cooked.
Okay, so Carolina Gold Rice, you heard it from the man, or the woman, whoever, or whatever Google identifies as. Alright, something else that's really common in South Carolina is sweet potatoes. They don't just grow sweet potatoes, but they have sweet potato beer, sweet potato chips. They are sweet potato crazy in the state of South Carolina. Another common condiment that you'll find in South Carolina is Duke's mayonnaise. Anybody from South Carolina, they got Duke's mayonnaise, whatever it is. Apparently it's only available in the state of South Carolina. Something else very popular in South Carolina that I've never heard of before, Frogmore Stew. Now, I don't think they actually have frogs in here. It looks like it's just corn, peppers, and shrimp. But let's go ahead and ask Google, see what they say. Hey Google, what is Frogmore Stew?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Seafood boil is the generic term for any number of types of social events in which shellfish, whether saltwater or freshwater, is the central element. Regional variations dictate the kinds of seafood, the accompaniments and side dishes, and the preparation techniques.
So, Frogmore Stew, apparently it's just a seafood mix. Alright, some more common foods, a couple more common foods you'll find. The state of South Carolina's Benny wafers. These are inexpensive wafers that you can add cheese or different items to. Hey Google, what is a Benny wafer?
On the website pinchmaymeeting.com, they say, Ben wafers are delicate, crispy sesame seed cookies originating in the low country of South Carolina.
Oh, okay, interesting. Hey Google, what is the low country of South Carolina?
According to Wikipedia, the Low Country is a geographic and cultural region along South Carolina's coast, including the Sea Islands.
Okay, so it's not figuratively speaking, it's literally low country. Okay, the last food item from South Carolina that we have is chow chow. Now, chow chow is a condiment. It looks like it's preserved. It's similar to, what is it? They have it in Hawaii. You put it on top of, it's pickled in vinegar. It's popular in Asia. I can't believe I forget what it's called. Anyways, hey Google, what is chow chow?
According to Wikipedia, chow chow is a North American pickled relish. Its ingredients vary considerably, depending on whether it is the northern or southern variety, as well as separate Canadian variety, prevalent in the Maritimes.
Okay. So, that was it for foods. We'll continue with different South Carolina. So that was different foods in South Carolina. Once again, that's my website if you want to know about my background, where I'm from, my education, and everything like that. My resume is available at the website, gxnetwork.live. So if you're watching me for the first time on YouTube, you just clicked on this video if you're interested in South Carolina. I do this live on Twitch Monday through Friday, every day at 12 o'clock Hawaii time. Alright, with that being said, we're going to continue with famous people from the great state of South Carolina. So, some famous people that you might not know that are from South Carolina is the star of the movie Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. It's sad to say he passed away recently. But he is from South Carolina. He was from South Carolina. Somebody else that you may not know is from South Carolina, Chris Rock. Chris Rock, yes, is from South Carolina. I always thought he was from New York, but apparently he's from South Carolina. One of South Carolina's proudest belles, one of her Southern belle, is Vanna White. Somebody I grew up watching. The lovely Vanna White is from South Carolina. Somebody else from South Carolina, Darius Rucker, lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish, and went on to have a successful country music solo career. Darius Rucker is from South Carolina. Somebody else from South Carolina, the lovely Andie MacDowell, star of the movie Groundhog Day. Great in that movie, such a sweet woman. I love Andie MacDowell. She's a beautiful woman. Somebody else that's from South Carolina is John Mellencamp, the solo singer. Had a few hits in the 80s. John Mellencamp is from South Carolina. Another musician, had many more hits, much more well-known. James Brown, one of the most well-known people from the state of South Carolina is James Brown. Somebody else from South Carolina is Aziz Ansari. I think I pronounced that correctly. Famous comedian, You know,
Time.
maybe he reached his peak, I think.
Really nice of you to put all this effort into 5 people watching.
Hey,
Smiley
Keanu.
face.
Hey, Keanu. Thanks for joining the class. Once again, somebody else from South Carolina. Nice of you to do all the effort to type your asshole comments. I hope karma gets you in your ass, bitch. Somebody else from South Carolina, and probably the person that wrote the comments, somebody like that. Somebody that gives women the creeps, Andy Dick. Andy Dick is from South Carolina. Someone else from South Carolina, Mary Louise Parker, lovely woman. She would have never wrote something like that asshole wrote. Very sweet woman, Mary Louise Parker. Actually met her once, Mary Louise Parker. Someone else from South Carolina, another prick, Stephen Colbert. You can just tell that guy's a jerk. Look at him. I wasn't even going to put him on the list because he's so jerky. Also from South Carolina. A politician from South Carolina has been in the news a lot lately, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is also from South Carolina. All right. So, once again, Keanu, you don't need to do that right now. Come on, just wait. He was going to eat something. Don't do that right now when I'm doing this. Come on, silly. So, once again, here, I was going to show you Keanu. Thank you for everybody that are watching. I really enjoy doing this. You know, that's why, like, instead of sitting there playing video games in my parents' basement, like some incels do, I actually also use this classroom for tutoring as well. And I do get paid well for doing that. Yes, there's not that many viewers here right now. However, I do put a lot of effort into this. I put a lot of energy into this. And it's a service that is in well demand and is the reason that I get paid good money to do this. Now, some people might come in here because they're sad that they live with their mommy and daddy and they may try to talk shit and this and that. But this is a service that is in demand. And so if you're watching this now on YouTube, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. If you give this a thumbs down, odds are you're not going to have sex for a while. If you give this a thumbs up, odds are you're a decent person. This is a very good service that's in demand.
Can we not go off topic, please?
Hey, bro, I don't know who you are, Xeon, but I don't know you, and you're not welcome here, dude. So, as soon as I figure out how to block you or ban you.
Ego is. Said. It's his stream, dude. Let him do his thing.
What, block you because I don't like your name, dude?
Said. Block me for what?
Because I don't like your name. It's playing on that somebody that I'm not even gonna mention. Like, I don't know you. I'm not part of that group of viewers.
GX.
Or anything. As soon as I figure out, I've banned you before, dude. Like, who are you, man? Leave me alone. If you're not on my side, then just get the hell out of here. Alright, I figured out how to block you. Well, that's just, I want to ban you, though.
The new merch is here, PogChamp. Check it out. HTTP.
Hey, bro, I didn't even know how many viewers I have. You're the one that's obsessed about my view count, dude. That's why I'm banning you.
You have 5 viewers. Can you afford to ban 20% of your people? Said. Remember me, MRG? I made the emotes of your cats when you first got on Discord.
Oh, really? See, I'll try to make you a, mod.
Mr.G with a donation through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com.
Hey, how does it feel, Xeon, to be not welcome? Hey, Xeon, how does it feel to not be welcome?
MRG Rage Mode today.
Hey, Xeon, you know, you're so not welcome here. If you're not welcome somewhere, what are you doing? Like, if you walk to a party and everybody hates you, what are you doing? Like, get out of here, dude. Like, go work on yourself, kid. If you don't like me, get the fuck out of my class, bitch.
Ego Biz. Said. Haven't been on
Oops,
a while.
shit, I didn't mean to ban you.
Well.
I'm banned then.
Stream looks geeked. Xenon_time. Said. How is this educational?
How is this educational? Are you fucking insane? You're never allowed here.
The F word.
Yes, this is for fucking adults, you little bitch.
You can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 1170 Nuuanu Avenue.
I'm reporting you as well, you fucker. Leave me alone.
Hawaii 96823. B Goat Biz said.
You're never chatting here again.
LOL, it happens.
Hey, Bigo Biz, I need some good moderators, so I'm going to try to make you a moderator if I can here.
B Goat Biz said. How are you and the cats doing, boss?
Actually, I can't figure out how to make you a moderator, so you just have to wait on that. We're doing great. The stock market is very good right now. Somebody like Xeon, he wouldn't know anything about the stock market because he's too busy trying to fucking put me down. What a fucking loser, right?
B Goat Biz.
We were trying to do a class about South Carolina. How is this educational? Well, we were learning about South Carolina before some fucking hater came into the chat named Xeon Pine and started talking about my view count. I had no idea how many people were watching, if there were 5 people or 50 people watching. I was too busy teaching about motherfucking South Carolina. Now, we had to be interrupted by that fucking loser, so he will never chat in here again.
Said. Deborah is Hensner Espanol Hombre No.
Chumpa me verga. Alright. Continuing with the presentation. Tomorrow's state is North Carolina. We spoke about Myrtle Beach. I'm going to show you some scenes from South Carolina. This is Myrtle Beach.
God bless South Carolina.
Okay. South Carolina, Charleston is known for its churches. 4 of the 5 tallest buildings in Charleston are the churches. Like we said, there is some dry communities. I'm going to show you a picture of the capital of South Carolina. They have a statue outside. I don't know if it's a Confederate statue, but South Carolina was the very first state to secede from the Union.
I've been to South Carolina before.
Oh, okay. So somebody in the class has been to South Carolina, all right? It's supposed to be, a prime southern state with southern hospitality, southern cuisine. We just went over the southern cuisine. It is a highly African-American state. At one point before the Civil War, it was 57% African-American slaves. And like I said, 47% of the state actually owned slaves. It doesn't have many cities. The largest city in the state is Charleston. That's one of the oldest cities in the United States as well. Continuing on, this is a famous park. You see the bougainvillea flowers. This is the highest point in South Carolina.
There's a lot of Taco Bells and KFC, LOL.
Oh, okay. I'm not aware of that. But like I said, it is.
I've been several times.
South Carolina is in depth in slavery.
Extreme elements.
This is Fort Sumter right here.
The new merch is here, PogChamp.
The entrance to Fort Sumter. This again is the Capitol building of South Carolina. They have one of the oldest capitals in the United States. Let's ask Google, now that I'm calmed down again. Sorry about losing my temper there a little bit. But here's another great picture of the Capitol. Like I said, it has that wonderful statue out front. With the palmetto tree, which are very nice as well. Let's see what Google knows about the state capital. Hey Google, tell us about the state capital of South Carolina.
Columbia is the capital of South Carolina.
Hey Google, how old is the state capitol building in South Carolina?
Help Mr. G with a donation through Stream Elements.
According to Wikipedia, the old state house was constructed between 1786 and 1790. Do you want a little more context?
Yes, please. Yes.
The old state house was constructed between 1786 and 1790. James Hoban, a young Irishman who emigrated to Charleston shortly after the Revolution, was the architect.
Okay, so there you have a little bit background about the State House in South Carolina. It's one of the oldest in the United States. We spoke about Myrtle Beach. Somebody in the class mentioned how nice their beaches are, and Countryman knew a little bit about Myrtle Beach. This is the famous Ferris wheel in Myrtle Beach. This picture is also on the board as well. It's one of the hot spots during spring break. It's a really lively community, and one of the top visited areas of the state of South Carolina. So I have a bunch of Clemson on the board here. This right here, see me? This is the University of South Carolina. The two biggest schools in the state are University of South Carolina, which is this logo here. Hey guys. And also the Clemson Tigers, which is the orange and white and purple logo right here.
Said Gamecocks.
Yes, that's right. The Gamecocks. That's right. I forgot about that. The South Carolina Gamecocks and then the Clemson Tigers. And they do occasionally play each other, and it's a very big rivalry. I don't know what the distance between the two schools are. Hey Google, how far is the distance between Clemson University and South Carolina University?
If you drive, University of South Carolina is 135 miles away from Clemson University.
Okay, so it's 135 miles away. Here's another picture of Myrtle Beach. And I will touch on something really quickly that I have to, because I think it's important. If you're learning about South Carolina, then I'm not going to sugarcoat things. South Carolina does have an exceptionally high crime rate. There's no getting around that. Just like a lot of the southern states, the states that we're going over this week, they have very high crime rates. Maryland, yesterday's state, has a really high crime rate. South Carolina has a high crime rate. North Carolina has a high crime rate. Virginia has a high crime rate. And on Monday, on Martin Luther King Day, we're going to go over the state of Georgia, which also, they have about an average crime rate. But the United States in general is one of the most violent countries in the world, along with Russia, Brazil, South America. The United States is definitely one of the most violent countries in the world, where people walking down the street are victims of violence. And if you don't believe me, we can just look at the statistics. Once again, if you're wondering about my background, my resume, my website's on the screen here. I apologize for getting upset at this student earlier. This is generally adult education, but anybody that's interested in learning, I do a live class every day, Monday through Friday, live on Twitch. Okay, so I did want to go over a brief graph about the crime statistics, and that's just because, because it's important. So this graph right here, this is the South Carolina crime. As you can see, murder is at 18%. That's burglary is at 18%. Murder is at 7.4%. Orange is larceny or theft. So I'm going to show you another graph made on the same interface with the United States. So look at this graph right here, and then now this is the United States median. So I'll switch it back again. So this is the United States general crime. Okay, so you see some of the numbers on here. And this is the South Carolina general crime. So as you can see, theft and larceny is about the same, but you do have higher incidence of violent crime in South Carolina than you do compared to the rest of the country. Like I said before I put this graph up, the United States is one of the most violent countries in the world on planet Earth. All right, here's a picture of University of South Carolina. So, back to the tourism. Just to let you guys know, if you're walking down the street, be careful. But once again, University of South Carolina, one of the top schools in the state. Just a couple more fun facts. They achieved statehood all the way back in 1788. They were the 8th state, one of the original colonies. The people from there are called South Carolinians. The state bird, northern mockingbird. Okay. Yellow jasmine is the state flower. The state tree is the sable palm, which is short for the palmetto tree. We went over those a lot. The highest point is Sassafras Mountain, and the total area, it's relatively small. It's the 40th largest state. So Sassafras Mountain is the highest point in the state, and this is an image of Sassafras Mountain right here, which I believe is also on the Appalachian Trail. Let's ask Google. Hey Google, does the Appalachian Trail go through South Carolina?
On the website ncpedia.org, they say, one of the most popular hiking trails in the nation, the Appalachian Trail is a prime tourist destination in North Carolina, where it passes through the Pisgah and Nantahala National Forests and along the highest ridges of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Okay, well, that's real nice. Another fun fact about the history of South Carolina. South Carolina began as a province of Carolina at the time, one of 13 colonies in the 1600s, and it was settled by the English. The English arrived in South Carolina where they endowed to create a colony along the Ashley River. However, poor conditions drove the English to modern-day Charleston, previously known as Charlestown. So, like I said, Charleston is one of the oldest cities in the United States. They mentioned that river here, and also the Savannah River is an important river. The Savannah River acts as the border between South Carolina and Georgia. Like I said, we're kind of going backwards here. Georgia, we're going to go over on Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day, and Martin Luther King was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He was from Georgia. He did things other places as well. But Martin Luther King was from Georgia, so on MLK Day, this Monday, we're going to go over Georgia.
Hello.
Hello. On Wednesday is Inauguration Day, January 20th, this coming Wednesday, and so we're going to go over Delaware. Delaware is one of the smallest states. It's on the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania. So right now we're in the mid-Atlantic and southern states. We're in that region. Tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to go over North Carolina, and on Friday, we're going to go over Virginia. So we're going to talk about the Revolutionary War, we're going to talk about the Civil War, and we're going to talk about a lot of history for the rest of this week and next week, because we're going over a lot of different historical states. I guess for the next week, we'll talk mainly about the Civil War and how South Carolina today, we talked about their importance in the Civil War with Fort Sumter being where the first shots of the Civil War happened. But also tomorrow we're going to talk about the Civil War with North Carolina, and on Friday, Virginia, Monday, Georgia, and once we get up to the northeastern states, we'll talk more about the Revolutionary War. Once we get to New York and New Jersey, we'll talk about George Washington on the Hudson River, and a few things like that, as well as going over each of the state's foods, famous people from the state landmarks, the state capitol building, and everything like that. So, despite the ridicule and criticism from that jerk, I really love how these classrooms are going. I really enjoy doing this. Yes, I'm very good at this. Yes, this is something that I should be paid for, is what people say. But yes, I am paid for this, if you weren't aware. Teaching is something that I do get paid for. Also, you can pay me with a thumbs up. You can pay me by posting this somewhere, or you can pay me by just coming to class. So, I appreciate all of you guys here today, and I like to end the class with, eventually we're going to end it with a few questions and answers from people from the particular state. I'm going to wait to do that until we have more people in the class.
Was it that creep Ice Posit talking trash again?
Yeah, somebody like that, somebody from that group, from that toxic, if you call it a community, they're dying off so quick. They're dying off and they don't have a life preserver. But guys, Mr.G, his life preserver is strong. Mr.G's got a freaking lifeboat with 2 huge oars. And I'm fucking pooping up Oh, and I got a huge sale too. And it's called Mr. G's Classroom. It's called Mr. G's Brain. It's called Mr. G's Talent. It's called Mr. G's Ability. A lot of these other streamers, you put them in a classroom like this for an hour, what can they do? What? Nothing. They have nothing.
You're way cooler, Brian, those kids.
They have nothing. They don't have any knowledge. They can't teach. They can't speak. That, like, maybe some of them can maybe play a musical instrument, but at least that's something. But hey, man, I can do this every day. I can teach something new, and nobody's going to outwork me either. You know, if you're doing something that you enjoy doing it, and you put your heart into it, you can create something really good. And that's what I'm doing here. It's something I'm good at. So thank you all for attending class today. I'm going to end the class with North Carolina State Song. And South Carolina State Song. Tomorrow we have a wonderful lecture on North Carolina, and the class will begin at about the same time. Once again, thank you, everybody. Today actually is the National South Carolina Day. What a coincidence, huh? So I'm going to play the South Carolina Anthem.
_bottom. Said, oh darn, I missed class, you're always so early.
Oh, well, it's every day, Monday through Friday. So if you missed class today, then you can make sure to check us out tomorrow, Edward. But thank you for mentioning that.
You can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 1117 Martin Avenue, Pecans 37301, Honolulu, Hawaii 96823. Said, what do you think of the song?
All right, everybody. Have a nice day. I hope you enjoyed National Carolina Day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Aloha.